here's the ATS 25 Max Decoder 2. Again, we're on 20 meters, decoding FT8, just with a telescopic whip. Radio sitting here in the shack. Now, if you look at the display of the ATS 25, you'll see we've got like a shaded area here, and then these lighter coloured traces, these are the signals, the FT8 signals, and then you can see the decodes here in text at the bottom of the screen. Now, this works very well. It works very well on FT8, and I've also done some CW decoding on this as well. You may have seen that in one of my earlier videos. But I thought this would be a great little radio to have sitting in the shack, or maybe when I was working at home. I could turn the volume right down, and I could monitor FT8 coming in, you know, because it's a standalone thing. As long as it's got a Wi-Fi connection, you can see it has here for the time. It'll decode the FT8 quite happily. Now the volume, you may not be able to hear it at the moment because the mic is next to me, but the volume's at quite a high level here on the radio. And you can actually hear the FT8 coming through. Now, you wouldn't want to have this on, listening to this constantly, because it's not a very pleasant noise to listen to. But let me show you what happens if I turn the volume level down, so that we just have the radio running. So I'll knock it, I won't turn it right down, but I'll turn it down. Okay, and if I put I'm going to put the microphone right next to the radio now, at that level 17. I mean, it's not muted, but it's very quiet. But unfortunately, as you can probably see on the screen now, although we've still got the shading here, the little traces of signal have disappeared. And at this volume level, this radio is not going to do any FT8 decodes. So you'll see that the decodes will stop, although the signals are still there, obviously. The volume level is down, and it won't decode. So unfortunately, the radio depends on the volume setting being relatively high in order for the decoder to work. So you cannot silently monitor FT8. Now, a solution may be to plug in perhaps something to the external speaker jack and mute the internal speaker. So maybe that will work. I don't know. I haven't tried that yet. I do have here a 3.5mm plug. So I'll pause the video in a moment, and we'll plug in the 3.5mm to the external speaker jack and see if we can mute the radio that way. Right, so I've plugged in. There's no sound output at all now. The plug isn't connected to anything. It's just enough to blank off the sound. I'm going to turn the volume level back up now to a degree where we should hear the signals. I get it right up there. You don't need it that high. It doesn't really matter. And you can see now we've got the traces coming back, the little white signal traces coming back. Let's see if we can get any decodes. Yeah, and now it's decoding again. So if you wanted to use this to kind of silently monitor FT8, FT4, whatever you're decoding, then you're going to have to basically put a dummy plug in the speaker socket or headphone socket. Otherwise, you're going to have the constant FT8 warble, because for whatever reason, the decoder board in this is driven by the audio level that you set on the volume control. So I would have expected it to be independent of the volume control, but it isn't. But once you're aware of that, so if you're having any problems with decoding on these, it may be you just haven't got the volume up high enough, and you need to be able to see these little light coloured traces on the waterfall, which will indicate then that you've got it at a level where the signal will decode. And just on the subject of decoding, I'll just come out of FT8 for a moment. And if we click the mode button, and then we click the digi button, don't know if you noticed on this radio, but we've got FT4 and FT8. Well, we've done quite a bit with FT8. We've got FSK, okay, and we've got RTTY, Hellschreiber, and RTTY D. It's RTTY upper and RTTY lower, Hellschreiber, FT8, FT4, and FSK. But we have these grayed out buttons here. We've got JT9, JT, is it 63? Can't actually see the angle I'm looking at, but we've got another JT mode. And interestingly enough, we've got SSTV. Now at the moment they're grayed out, so if you hit them, okay, they don't do anything. But whether they put there, whether there's anticipation of a firmware upgrade that will give us slow scan TV, that would be interesting on 20 meters, wouldn't it? Slow scan TV. FT8 and 4 probably the most popular modes out there at the moment anyway, so they're great. And RTTY, sometimes you see a bit of RTTY around, but I would be interested in slow scan TV. So look out for any firmware updates that might give us that. We go back to FT8. Okay, and let's just before I end the video, see if it's still going to do a few decodes for us. I'll check the volume setting, but you can already see that we've got some traces in the waterfall, and we've got an FT8 decode there. Now, just to give you an idea of what the level is set up, if I pull my 3.5mm plug out, that's what you'll be hearing. So you're going to need to mute it if you want it to run quietly in the background. Okay, just a little update on the ATS 25 Max Decoder 2. Thank you for watching.